Chapter 17. The minute 8 appears in the middle of the room, gushing blood, I rush over and place my hands on his wound. His blood runs over my fingers and down my wrists, and when another explosion rocks the cave, we both fall to the ground. "I'm sorry," he whispers. "This is my fault, SHH. I can heal you. It's my legacy. You just have to relax for a second." The iciness flows from my fingertips to his ribs, and 8 immediately goes rigid with pain. The explosions keep coming and 8 winces with each one, but I stare deep into his eyes, willing him to stay with me. "It's okay. 6 is here. She can deal with this. We will be okay." I sound absolutely certain, trying to convince both of us. "Maybe this is when I die. Maybe the drawing was just off," he says. I press down harder, finally feeling his wound start to shrink in response to my touch. I shake my head firmly. "No, it isn't." Through the chaos, I see 6 push Ella and Creighton behind a large pile of fallen rock. She looks over at 8 and me, and the next thing I know we're lifted off the ground and floated over to the rest of the group. When 6 sets us down, she says, "All of you, just stay here while I turn invisible and check things out. Fix him up, Marina." She winks at me. Her voice tells me we'll be okay if we all remember what we can do. The only way we'll survive is if we pull together. "I'm trying," I say, but she's already invisible. Below my hands, 8's lungs struggle to keep up with my legacy, and his face drains of color. I can feel his insides shifting, almost as if resisting my powers. That's not it, though. It can't be. He's just more wounded than I thought. Or, my legacy is fading. But that is not an option. I begin to panic and I fight the sick feeling in my stomach. I need to focus on him, and not let myself get distracted by what is happening around us. I hear gunfire and the distant screams of Mogadorian soldiers. I can only imagine what 6 is doing out there. She is a merciless warrior when she needs to be, incredibly dangerous to any who threaten her or us. "How is he?" Creighton asks, hovering over it and glancing back and forth between the pain on 8's face and the panic in mine. Ella grabs 8's hand and gets him to focus on her. "It's okay. It's going to hurt, 8, but then it will feel better. Trust me." I watch her calming words wash over him and he begins to nod through his grimaces. We hear a deafening crash overhead, and the cave's ceiling comes alive with cracks that spread fast and wide. The dome is a jigsaw puzzle of pieces that threaten to break free at any moment, and suddenly the first one falls, a stone the size of a car plunging down towards us. I don't want to withdraw my healing touch, but I have to remove my hands from 8's side in order to focus all of my energy on deflecting the stone away with my mind. When I lay my hands back on 8's wound, it feels like I'm starting all over again. I take whatever solace I can from the cave drawing. It may show him dying, but it does not show him dying here, this way. "Where's Marina's chest?" Ella asks. "Maybe there's something in there that can help." Creighton stands. "Both chests are on the other side of the cave. I'll get them." "No." Ella grabs the cuff of his sleeve, but Creighton races off. I watch, helpless. Pieces of the ceiling continue to fall and Ella yells for Creighton to come back, to wait for 6. My mind is racing. 6 is out there battling single-handedly with a Mog army, and I know I need to forget all of it and focus my energy on 8. I can feel his body giving into the pain and damage that I can't seem to heal quickly enough to save him. I squeeze my eyes shut, willing him to respond to my legacy, when I see his wound has returned to its original size, as if I've not even touched him. "Ella." I look at her, my eyes filling with tears. "It's not working. I don't know what to do." Ella's voice is determined. "We need him, Marina. Just concentrate. You can do this." I try to catch my breath and see Creighton barely dodge a jagged boulder. 8. Hold on. I will do this. You will be better soon. I say as he closes his eyes. I shut out the noise of the attack. I shut out the hysteria surging inside of me, and I tell myself, I can heal 8. I will heal him and 6 will take care of the Mogs. We have a mission and this is not the end. I sit up straight. My breath slows to a normal rhythm and a ball of ice seems to form between my shoulder blades. It races down my spine and out to my fingers. The force of it nearly pushes me over, but my fingers stay firmly on 8's wound. I can feel something happening inside of 8 and my breath quickens. My heart beats so fast I think it's going to explode. And then 8 opens his eyes. It's working. Ella shouts. Vertigo sweeps through me. I wobble but remain upright as 8's wound closes. I can feel his broken ribs move back into place beneath my hands. After a few seconds I allow myself to sit back. I'm so exhausted I can barely keep my eyes open. I take a deep breath and 8 sits up. He touches where the wound was, feels his ribs and then reaches out to take my hand. I have never felt anything like that, 8 says to me, looking incredulous. I don't know how to thank you. I open my mouth to respond when 6 suddenly appears. She has a Mogadorian cannon in her hand. Her face is covered in black ash. She's out of breath but in control. I've pushed them back, but I could use some help out there. 8 staggers to his feet. Right. I was thinking of Marina, 6 says, surveying the scene and seeing immediately that 8 is in no condition to be of help to anyone. I'm honored she wants me to fight alongside her, but I know I'm too weak to stand. Where's Creighton? She asks, looking around. I've been so focused on healing 8 I'd forgotten about him. I whip around just in time to see him digging the chests out from under some rubble. Then he picks up both chests and starts to make his way back over to us. Just as 6 moves to help, an explosion blows apart whatever was left of the ceiling. Huge chunks of snowy rock fall into the cave, followed by hundreds of bullets. 8 stands over Ella, using his telekinesis to deflect the debris and gunfire. 6 starts firing into the exposed sky with the Mog cannon. There's another explosion high overhead, and a few seconds later a silver ship like the one I saw at the bottom of the pool crashes into the crumbling mountain just above us. A bleeding Mogadorian soldier tries frantically to extricate himself from the cockpit. I struggle to my feet as he punches a hole through the windshield, and before he can pull himself out, I use my telekinesis to bring 2 boulders up and smash him between them. A cloud of ash floats to the ground. A rocket enters the cave, blasting the wall nearest Creighton. The panel carving we were all entranced by just moments ago is decimated. Creighton is thrown by the blast and he flies into the middle of the cave, landing next to the blue laurelite stone as the chests skid across the floor. He isn't moving. I'm stunned, it all happened so fast. Papa, Ella screams. Even though the walls are crumbling around us, I race with Ella to Creighton's side. She takes one of his hands. I put mine on his body and close my eyes, trying to find a sign of life. I search for anything to work with, to heal, but there's nothing. Save him. Ella yells at me, her small face twisted in anguish. Marina, please, you can do this. You can fix him. I'm trying, I say, but it comes out as a sob. He's dead. Her Sapan is gone. Just concentrate like you did with 8. You can do it again. Ella is frantic, stroking Creighton's head and petting his hand. Out of the corner of my eye I see 6 charge towards us with her cannon firing into the sky. 8 teleports next to me. He leans over and says, you can fix him. Come on, Marina. I start to cry. I can't do it. I know there is nothing for me to heal, but I try to summon my legacy, pleading for it to work. But Creighton is dead, there's nothing for my legacy to connect with. I move my hands to his crushed chest and stomach. I can feel all of his broken bones beneath my hands. Ella gets behind me and pushes on my shoulders. pressing my hands harder onto Creighton. 6 stops shooting and grabs my arm. She looks me in the eye. I shake my head. Ella falls to her knees, sobbing. She crawls over to Creighton and whispers into his ear, "Let Marina fix you. Please don't go. Please, Papa." She looks up at me, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her voice is angry. "You didn't even try, Marina. Why won't you try?" I wipe my tears on my shoulders. "I tried, Ella. I tried, and there was nothing I could do. He was already gone." "I'm sorry." I sit back on my heels but keep my hands on Creighton's body. A rocket hits the far wall, separating it completely from the mountain. We know from our walk up that behind the hole is a straight 2,000-foot drop. Cold wind sweeps in and over us. 8 turns to 6. "Give me the cannon. I'll be right back." 6 hesitates for a second before handing it to him. 8 disappears, and I look up to see him sprinting along the crumbling lip of the hole, leaping from spot to spot as the rocks crumble away. Even in flight, he never stops shooting. Soon, 2 Sylvan Mog ships explode into balls of flame. I keep moving my hands across Creighton, but 6 yanks me onto my feet. "Stop." He's gone. I look down at Creighton, his rugged face, his bushy eyebrows, and remember the first time I saw him at that cafe tilde copyright in Spain. I thought he was my worst enemy. Instead, he saved my life. I stretch out my hands to try one more time, but 6 hugs me close to her. I feel her tears on my neck. Her lips touch my ear as she whispers, "There's nothing we can do." Sobbing, Ella reaches over and grabs Creighton's left hand. She kisses it and places it against her cheek. "I love you, Papa." "I'm so sorry," I say again. She looks up at me and tries to speak, but she can't. Gently, she lays Creighton's hand on his chest and strokes it once more before standing. 8 teleports next to us and returns the cannon to 6. Another strong gust of freezing wind blasts over us and flips open one side of Creighton's jacket. We all see it at the same time. A white envelope in his inner jacket pocket, "For Ella" is written on the outside. 6 grabs it and shoves it into Ella's hands. "Ella, listen to me. I know you don't want to leave him. None of us do. But if we don't leave right now we will die too. You know Creighton would want us to do what is necessary to survive, right?" Ella nods. 6 turns to 8. "Right. Now, how do we teleport the hell out of here? Has too much of the mountain been destroyed for it to work?" "Ella, you hold my chest. Marina, get yours," 8 says, ushering us towards the glowing blue lorelite. 6, "You're going to have to hold on to someone's arm so we can all go at once." He looks around grimly at the wreckage. "I really hope this works." He grabs Ella's hand and mine. 6 hooks her arm through my other elbow. I look around at the pieces of the walls that spoke to us about our future and our past. I think about the many Lorik who were here before us. I'm sad we'll be the last ones to see it. But I also think about the responsibility that being the last Lorik puts on all of us. I take one last look at Creighton, thanking him for everything he did. "Okay, here we go," 8 says. Then everything goes black. End of chapter. Chapter 18. All of a sudden, 9's at the edge of his seat. "Holy shit, 4, check it out. They've moved." "Who moved?" I take the tablet out of his hand. The blue dots that identify us have changed position. At least, some of them have. There is still 1 blue dot in Jamaica and 2 in Chicago, but there are now 3 off the coast of Africa, and 1 in New Mexico. My chest relaxes when I see there are still 7 dots. But I'm confused by how they moved to these other places so quickly. How did they do that? I have no idea, 9 says. It's like they teleported or jumped through space. Maybe they found a Stargate, or something. Henri said Stargates don't exist, I said, shaking my head. Yeah, well, neither do aliens from another planet, according to some people. In fact, many people. He's right, maybe Henri was wrong. One guard is in New Mexico. 9. Near what you think might be our ship. That can't be a coincidence. Do you think they're going after it? Man, I hope not. It is so not time for that yet. We have a lot of shit to take care of before we leave Earth. I stare at the blue dot pulsing in New Mexico, and press the green triangle, revealing where the Lorian ships are hidden again. There is no way this one has accidentally landed so close to it. Add that to the fact I've been told Sarah is out west, possibly with Sam, and I'm convinced. I'm serious. 9. That's where we are going. New Mexico. Now, everything we've seen and learned points to it, tells us we need to go there right now. I rush out of the room, slam my chest shut and put it next to the front door. BK, I call out. Bernie Koza trots over with the steak bone in his mouth. 9 follows me. Dude, slow down. We are not going to up and fly off to New Mexico, especially after what we just saw. These guys are teleporting around. By the time we get in the elevator, they could be in Antarctica or Australia. There's too much we don't know yet. We don't even know for sure. That's our ship. What if it's a trap? 9 moves in front of the door and crosses his arms. I know I must look like a crazed lunatic, punching at the elevator button, trying to pretend 9 is not the blocking my efforts. The words tumble out of my mouth. We have to go there anyway. Even if the guard member we see now disappears before we get there, New Mexico is still the obvious and only place for us to go. I'm desperate for him to get on board with this. We can take some of your guns. My head is spinning. I sprint into the training room and head for the munitions cabinet. I'm leaping over the mats in the direction of the cabinet when I hear the metal rings clang overhead. 9 drops from above me, into my path, and puts his hand up. Whoa, hold on there, bud. Take a breath, he says with his hands up, palms out towards me. I think we should go to paradise. Are you freaking kidding me? Now you want to go to paradise? I am going to kill this guy. I got to thinking while you were asleep. We need to go back to where you found the tablet. You said before there were a bunch of papers down there, not to mention that skeleton and some maps. I think we're missing something. Something that is the key to beating Setre tilde inverted exclamation mark Kusra. You don't get it, I say, pushing past him. Things are happening out west this second. Do you have a car? He shoves me hard in the back. I almost fall, but I catch myself. I stand there, back to him, fuming. I do have a car, but we're going to paradise first. We need to find anything we can to help us fight. Not a chance. I turn and shove him back, and before I know it, our arms are locked over each other's heads. 9 kicks my feet out from underneath me and I fall to the ground. Bernie Koza barks, telling us to stop. Relax, BK, 9 says, waving at him. Consider this a little light training before we head to Ohio. Right. We're training now, I spit, pulling myself to my feet. With everything we just learned, 9 throws a jab and I deflect it. But I can't do the same for his right hook. My ribs feel like they just got hit with a battering ram. I fall to my knees, clutching my middle, and he side kicks my sternum, knocking me flat on my back. Come on, man. He yells down at me. Step it up. Why don't you? You think you can charge into the desert, take on whatever enemy comes your way, but you can't take me? I spring to my feet and surprise him with a clean punch to the gut, as he doubles over. I knee him in the mouth. That's what I'm talking about. 4. Blood spills from his split lips, but he's beaming at me. We circle each other. Tell you what, since you're showing signs of giving me a decent run, I'll make you a deal. You beat me, we go to New Mexico. Immediately, I leave and let you drive. But if I win, we spend a couple more hours here, figure some shit out and come up with a real plan. Then, we go back to paradise and head down that well, and you call me a coward, I say. We continue to circle each other and we each land some devastating blows. I hear one of Nine's ribs snap when I connect with my right elbow. I swing around with my other elbow, but he delivers a hard kick to my left knee. Cartilage rips and pain sears through my leg. Limping, I'm able to throw a few more punches, but I can't move, giving Nine a huge advantage. He leaps behind me and kicks my other leg out from under me. My head hits the floor and the world goes white. When I get my bearings, Nine has my arms pinned with his knees. The fight is over, and with it goes our chances for finding the guard out west. I'll get a healing stone, Nine says, slowly standing, with blurred vision. I watch him hold his side as he leaves the room. Bernie Koza whimpers. This is bullshit. You know that? I yell after him. You can't just decide things like this. That guard in New Mexico could die on their own and you don't even care. Nine's voice booms through the apartment. We're soldiers, Johnny, and soldiers die. We were sent here to train and fight and some of us aren't going to make it. That's the nature of war. I slowly hop into the living room on my one good leg. I can see through the windows that the sun is setting. BK sits on the floor, in the last patch of light, looking at me. He begs us to sit down and talk and plan our next move with level heads. Nine walks in with a healing stone held to his ribs. He tosses it to me and I immediately place it to my left knee. Through the pain, I feel the cartilage slowly reconnecting. It doesn't take long for it to do its thing, and soon the pain has disappeared completely. I plant a hand on the window frame and say, if we're not going to New Mexico, then let's deal with Setre tilde inverted exclamation mark Kusra. Right now, you and me. Maybe if we take him out, the rest of the Mogs will die, and we'll save two worlds. Nine sits down onto a leather couch and puts his feet up on the glass coffee table. He sighs and closes his eyes. Sorry, Johnny, but even if Setre tilde inverted exclamation mark Kusra dies, the Mogs will still fight. Just like Pittacus Law died and we still fight. Stop looking for an easy out and face it. We're all going to fight until the last one is killed. I look out the window and gather the strength to say what I've wanted to ever since I read Henri's letter. Pittacus isn't dead. I'm Pittacus. What did you say? I turned to face him. I said, I'm Pittacus Law. Nine leans back laughing so hard he nearly flips over the couch. You're Pittacus? Why on earth would you think you're Pittacus Law? I feel it, I say. It's why Lorien hibernates. Pittacus lives on through me. Oh, yeah? You know what? I think I feel it, too, he mocks. Feeling his torso, he stands and marches over to me. But, hey, if you are Pittacus, the strongest, wisest elder of Lorien, then I just kicked Pittacus's ass. I wonder what that make me? Lucky, I say, regretting I said anything. Really? Sounds like somebody wants a rematch. Enough, Bernie Koza says. No more fighting. Save your strength. I ignore him. Fine, a rematch it is, then. If you want to take me on again, then there's going to be a change of venue, and to make it even more interesting, Pittacus, I say we each get to use one item from our chests. Fine. I open my chest, reaching immediately for the 4-inch dagger. The handle vibrates the moment I touch it and quickly wraps itself around my fist. I see Mogash still stuck in its grooves. The smell of it makes me hungry for another fight. Nine grabs the short silver staff with his right hand. Okay, that makes me nervous. I saw how he decimated all those Picans in West Virginia with that thing. He waves his finger at me when he sees my dagger. I said only one item. I have my dagger, That's it. And that's all I'll need. And what about your cute little bracelet? I forgot about it. It's probably the better choice for me. Thank you. I toss the dagger back into my chest. Follow me, 9 says, ignoring Bernie Koza and his pleas to stop. I follow 9 through the apartment and into the elevator. Both of us silent. I assume the fight will be in the building's dark basement among columns and cement walls, our powers hidden from the world. Instead, we ascend. The elevator doors open and 9 punches a keypad by the door in front of us, and it clicks open. We're on the roof of the John Hancock Center. No way, no freaking way. Too many people can see us up here, I say, shaking my head. Turning back towards the door and side, 9 walks out onto the roof. Nobody can see us up here. That's what's so great about being at the top of one of the tallest buildings in the city. I don't want to look like I'm chickening out, so I follow, showing a lot more confidence than I feel. But I'm not prepared for the fierce wind that hits me hard, almost pushing me back into the doorway. 9 keeps walking, his black hair whipping around his head, seemingly impervious to the force of the wind. His white t-shirt balloons around his torso until he strips it off and lets it fly over the ledge. When he gets to the center of the roof, he snaps his wrist, expanding the silver staff at both ends until it's over 6 feet long and glowing red. He turns to me and curls his palm, beckoning me closer. Like a tightrope walker, I take a deep breath and put one foot in front of the other to walk towards him. We're in the giant shadow of the looming white spire at the far end of the roof and, just as I near him, 9 turns and runs towards it. I have no idea what he is about to do, so I stop walking to watch his next move. Without breaking stride, he sprints straight up the spire until he reaches the top. The spire is swaying in the wind and I'm dizzy just looking at him, teetering up the. 9 pulls the red staff over his head and, before I can register what he is doing, he hurls it. The second it leaves his hand, 9 dives headfirst towards me, and I'm faced with dodging 2 flying objects at once. I just manage to roll away from the sharp staff as it nears me, and I watch as it plunges into a metal beam at an angle. I turn to deal with 9's approach, and as he's about to tackle, I land a blow so hard I send him flying across the roof. I reach over and yank 9's red staff out of the metal beam. Henri never trained me with anything like it, but I twist it over my head and charge anyway. 9 stands and steels himself for my attack. I swing the staff across his body, but he parries it away with his wrist and immediately moves to kick my newly repaired knee. I pull my leg back so he misses, but he's able to get his hands on the staff. We both struggle to gain control of it, circling and kicking, dodging and blocking. He uses his telekinesis to float my feet off the ground. I start to resist but then realize I can use it to my advantage with the strong wind up here. Carefully timing my moves with a hearty gust, I flip over the staff in a fraction of a second. I'm behind 9 with the staff against his throat. We should be on our way to New Mexico, I say, pulling us towards the door that leads back to the elevator. 9 headbutts me with the back of his skull, right into my nose, and I lose my grip on the staff. He grabs it as I stumble backwards and slam into an electrical box. "Is that you talking, Johnny, or is it Pittacus?" he says mockingly as he swings the staff. My bracelet expands just in time to deflect his blow. There. Electrical box I'm next to has been sliced in half by his near miss. Sparks fly everywhere, including inside my open shield and onto me. When they bounce onto my shirt, I let the fire catch and spread. My shield shrinks, and 9 stares, stunned at the sight of me consumed by flames. He shakes the surprise off. "Why didn't you turn into a human fireball when we were on the same team?" he shouts. The fire around my body crackles and hums in the strong wind. I walk towards him. He may think this is all fun and games. I don't. Are we done now? Not quite, he smirks. I form a small ball of fear in my palm. I figure I'll make my lack of humor about the situation clear enough if I bowl the ball of fire at his legs. But he knocks it away with the end of the staff like a hockey player. I skip 2 more fireballs down the roof, each one faster than the last, but he uses his mind to push them to the side. The first one rolls off and ineffectually burns out, the other makes its way to the edge of a fan casing. The heat melts it away, and the high winds tip the whole cover off the enormous fan, leaving it exposed. I raise my hands over my head to create a fireball the size of a refrigerator, but as it grows, 9 charges at me with the staff over his shoulder. He plants one end of the staff in the ground and vaults himself, feet first, at my flaming chest. He screams in pain as the soles of his shoes connect with my burning body, and I'm sent flying backwards. The world that had been reds and yellows is now greys and blues. On my final rotation, I realize I'm flying directly into the exposed fan. At the last possible moment, I spread my arms and legs out and catch myself, mere inches from its blades. The fan is powerful enough to nearly extinguish what's left of my dwindling fire before I dive off and roll away. Trying to cool off, 9 asks, hands on hips, as if simply observing my technique. He's kicked off his half-melted shoes. I'm just getting warmed up. I leap to my feet to ready myself to respond to his next move. 9 sprints to his left and I follow. He jumps over some pipes onto the raised ledge. Again I follow. We are now both inches from a 1,000-foot drop onto the street below. To my utter shock, 9 then steps off the ledge. I yell and lean over to grab him, but when I do, I don't see him sailing to his death. He's standing, horizontal, on a window with his arms crossed, that same big smile on his face. I've leaned too far, trying to grab him, and I frantically wheel my arms to regain my balance. But I can't catch myself and suddenly I'm tipping further over the abyss. 9 sprints back up the side of the building and hits me with a powerful uppercut to my jaw. I'm knocked backwards but I don't have the chance to land. 9 catches me by the neck, spins and holds me over the ledge. Now, number 4, all you have to do to get me to set you down, all safe and sound, is say it. He holds the staff with his other hand over his head. Say you're not Pittacus. I kick at him, but he holds me out, just out of range. I end up swinging back and forth like a pendulum. Say it, he repeats, his teeth gritted. I open my mouth, but can't bring myself to deny what I feel with such certainty to be true. I believe I am Pittacus Law. I believe I am the one who can and will end this war. You want to go running to New Mexico to find our ship. You can't believe for even a second it might be a trap. Then you talk about taking on !Khusra, but you can't even beat me in hand-to-hand combat. You are not him. You're not Pittacus. So, let's stop the bull right now. Just say it. 4. He tightens his grip on my throat. My vision blurs. I look up into the cloudless sky and it turns red. Just like the night the Mogadorians invaded Lorien. I see flashes of the faces of Lorik who were slaughtered. Their screams ring in my ears. I see the explosions, the fire, all of the death. I see Crowls with Lorik children in their teeth. The pain I feel for all of them at that moment is so overwhelming that I know I can withstand whatever is done to me now, including 9 crushing my neck. Say it. I can't. I manage to squeak out. You've got to be delusional. He yells, squeezing harder. Now I see the bombs falling on Lorien. I see the torn bodies of my people, my planet being destroyed. At the top of one mound of bodies, I see my dead father wearing his silver and blue suit. 9 shakes me violently. my feet swinging wildly. You're not Pittacus. I close my eyes to escape the visions of carnage swimming in front of me, dreading whatever comes next. I can see Henri's letter in my mind. When the 10 of you were born, Lorien recognized your strong hearts, your wills, your compassion, and in turn she bestowed the 10 of you the roles you're all meant to assume, the roles of the original 10 elders. What this means is that, in time, those of you left will grow to be far stronger than anything Lorien has ever seen before, far stronger even than the original 10 elders from whom you've received your inheritances. The Mogadorians know this, which is why they're hunting you so feverishly now, whatever it all means. I know 9 wouldn't actually kill me. Each member of the guard is too important, Pittacus or not. More than anything, coming together and fighting as one, as the guard we were born to be, is more important than any fight he and I might have. That's small comfort. Given the fact that my body is still swinging when I feel the wind change slightly. The hand around my neck opens and my stomach drops as I start to fall. Could I have been wrong? Instead I feel my feet touch down in less than a second. I open my eyes and find myself back on the roof. 9 walks away, his head down. He snaps his wrist and the long red staff shrinks into a piece of silver. Over his shoulder, he yells, "Next time, I drop you." End of chapter.